higher level of experience, because that's the only guarantee you have in your life. If you are in a state of very pleasant experience, let's say you're feeling wonderful right now, it's guaranteed that you will do wonderful things to other people. You're feeling horrible right now, you can be quite sure most of the time human beings will do horrible things to each other when they are feeling that way.
This is related to the energy, the positive energy?
Not like that. When you're happy, you'll treat people well. When you're unhappy, you'll treat people badly, isn't it? So this is a natural consequence. So the best way, if you want to create a beautiful world, is every individual human being should become a joyful human being.
Yeah.
For this, we are approaching this not as a philosophy, but as a science. Everything in the world today, many activities that we perform, we approach it in a scientific manner. But when it comes to inner well-being, we have fanciful philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, various superstitions, all kinds of things. It is time we address inner well-being also scientifically. Scientifically means just this, to make it in such a way that it works for everybody. When we say technologies for well-being, you just have to learn to use it, you don't have to believe it. You have a phone, you don't have to believe in the phone, you just have to learn to use it. Just like that, you have to learn to use it so that this one becomes blissful by its own nature. So, foundation is just a legal facility to do that.
How do we do this? If we want to give tips, few tips for everyone watching, how can we do this?
One thing is, if you don't mess your mind, you will be blissful. But now you will ask me, how do I not mess my mind? You should
Yeah, maybe because of the stress of life, it's not easy for lots not to mess their mind.
Let's come to this. Life is not stressful, only mind is stressful, isn't it? Because the situation that you may go through stressfully, I may go through joyfully. Every day it's happening to everybody, isn't it? Something that one person suffers badly, another person may go through it very easily. So it is not a question of life. Yes, life has its situations, no question about that. But suffering does not happen because of life. Physical obstacles may happen because of life, difficulties may come in in doing activities, but stress essentially happens because there is friction in your mind. If your thought and emotion, if your thought and your emotion took instructions from you, that is, your thought and emotion happened just the way you want it, would you keep yourself blissful or stressful?
Blissful. Okay, empowerment of women is a very important angle that we would like to highlight with you. You consider this age as the age of women. Can we elaborate this more, and how do you see her role?
See, I don't want to attach too much importance to gender differences. Human beings should be treated as human beings. This man-woman thing matters only in certain aspects of life. Why should it matter to you whether somebody is a man or a woman in most aspects of life? Only in certain aspects of life, being a man or a woman matters. Rest of the time, why can't we just look at human beings as human beings?
Yeah.
When we say gender, this may be a little sensitive for people to understand. When we say a man or a woman, what we are doing is, we are identifying a person with their reproductive organs, which is not necessary all the time. In some places, in certain situations, in certain relationships, it's necessary. Rest of the time, there is no need to identify a human being with reproductive organs. If at all, if you must identify with some body part, it must be at least the brain, not the other aspects of the body.
Yeah, but recently women are having an important role that they didn't used to have in the past years.
Not true. Our mothers were women. They had the most important role of producing us. We are here only because of her.
Yeah.
So, but that was not important, it was most important. today we are thinking economic activity is the only important thing, which is unfortunate. And now she is finding a role in the economic activity also. But economic activity is not the most important thing in the world. It is important, but the most important thing is human beings are full and happy and joyful within themselves. The experience of human life is full. For a very, very long time, human experience in a man's life or in a family's life is largely full because of a woman for a very long time. So it's not now that she has an important role, she always had. Maybe people did not recognize it.
Okay. Talking about women before moving to another angle, I wanted to ask you about Malala Yousafzai. Definitely you know her story. How do you see her struggling and fighting terrorism as a character, not to mention the gender?
So this is an unfortunate reality. In certain parts of the world, they don't want women to get educated because that's a way of controlling them and whatever. Malala is one of the lucky ones where the bullet went through her head and she still lived. Many, they got the bullet and they never lived. And they never got the fame and the opportunity that she got. So she's become an iconic presence in a way for women's education, the girl child's education, which is, I think, world needs some iconic figures, otherwise people don't understand. I think a whole lot of people, man or woman, are identifying themselves with her struggles and how she's come out of it. Above all, her strength and her grit to express what she wants to at an age where most people would be not capable of doing that or they wouldn't even think of that. At the age of 12, 13, that girl stood up like a great leader and she spoke. So, such iconic characters or personalities are very much necessary in the world. And unfortunately, though none of us could be born without our mothers, we have treated them badly for a variety of reasons. And we must understand this. This is mainly not just about being a woman or a child or somebody else. We have gotten into this mode. Anybody who is little physically weaker than us, we want to thrash them. It's not necessarily a woman, anything. People beat their children, people beat their women, people beat those people who are weaker than them. If this has to go, a human being has to become much more complete and evolved within himself and herself, both ways. Because this is not… I don't see this as a gender issue. This is a serious issue of humanity, that we always pick on somebody who is weaker than us and try to dominate them or crush them. This is not just about women, this happens to children, this happens to men, this happens to everybody. But women probably taking the brunt of it.
Okay, you look for happiness, we look for happiness outside, as per you, nice cars, luxurious houses. How shall we make use, talking about this, of Sheikh Muhammad's named and for the first time in region First Minister of State for Happiness, which is part of the biggest shake-up of the federal government in its history. How important is this initiative going along with your perceivedness of such a thing, happiness?
I just met the happiness minister. It is wonderful that the rulers of states and nations, it's also happening in India now. First it happened in Bhutan and now everybody is picking it up everywhere. It's good that leaders of nations and states are beginning to think in terms of bringing happiness to the people. How far it'll go, what'll happen is not the point. The point is they're thinking about it. That itself is a great thing. So it's a wonderful possibility. I had a wonderful meeting with the minister and they want to implement certain things. See, the thing is like this. Happiness will never happen because of social situations. Happiness will happen because of your inner situation. It is an inner state, it's an ambience within you. But outside support is needed for most human beings. I may be able to be happy in any kind of situation, that's my problem. But most other people need an atmosphere which supports them. When we say an atmosphere which supports them, one important aspect is, for any society or a nation to function, there are many rules. Let's say we want to drive on the street. In Dubai, you must drive on the right side of the street. Suppose I think I am a free human being and I drive wherever I want. When I do it, it looks like fun for me. If 3 more people join with me, it looks like a revolution. But if everybody breaks the rule, it'll be a chaos.
Yeah, sure.
So we need to create a place where people understand rules are not restrictions. Rules are a way so that you and me can walk in this corridor without smashing into each other. You walk this way, I walk this way.
It's about us to follow the rules. Why we do here, for example, we Lebanese people, and we never do it in Lebanon.
You're telling me I'm Indian, yeah?
Yeah, I know. The question is, it has to do with me or with the rules of the country.
That is what. See, if any game you want to play, there needs to be rules. No rules means there'll be no game.
We have these rules.
We have, but I'm saying, if you want to play football, you're not supposed to touch the ball with your hand. If you insist, I will carry it in my hand and run away, it will not be football. So, if you have to drive on the street, certain rules. If you don't want to follow it, there won't be road and traffic, there will be chaos and anarchy. So, as I said, if one person breaks the rule, it looks like fun. 3-4 people, they think they're revolutionaries.
Revolution, yeah.
When everybody breaks it, it'll be anarchy, totally.
This is Lebanon. Okay. Happiness, efforts, commitments, we cannot but mention here, talking about this, responsibility. What is responsibility?
See, responsibility simply means your ability to respond. If I say I'm responsible for you, I will respond to whatever is your need right now. If I think I'm not responsible for you, even if you're dying, I will sit here and watch. Or in other words, responsibility is the fundamental of your humanity. If you don't have any sense of responsibility, you will become inhuman.
Maybe I'm not capable.
Maybe you're not capable of action, but you're capable of…
feeling.
Ability to respond, isn't it? See, responding to something means in so many ways you can respond. If you have a child, are you responsible for your child? For sure, isn't it?
Sure.
Can you do everything for the child? Can you do everything?
No.
Nobody can do everything. Whatever you can do, you will do. The same goes, if you see you're responsible for me, you can't do everything for me, you will do whatever you can do.
Yeah.
The same goes for the city, the same goes for the country. Whatever you can do, you will do. In our lives, we must understand this. In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, there is no problem. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disastrous life. So the moment you think I'm not responsible, this disaster will begin. Even what you can do, you will not do.
For more videos, please subscribe. Press bell icon and never miss an update.